With bootstrapping, how do you do
Yeah.
it properly? So did you
So,
guys any investment? Did you do a split investment or did it just not
no,
take that much money to get off the
we
ground?
made so much money on our first deal. We nailed it to the. It was this incredible amount of money that we made that was there for us. It worked out beautifully. And like I say, instead of paying taxes on it and retiring, we decided to parlay that into our future and try to grow the company faster than maybe we should have.
Mhm.
And this business is it's very hard, right? Who do you talk to shut down a data center? There's nobody with a title that says they do it. There's everybody's hiding in, and it's never the same person within an organization. But we knew enough that we could and just worked with enough people in the industry that we could rely on that would bring us into these opportunities when they're there. And so we did a lot of bootstrapping. We brought a lot of people on. We tried to teach them the processes and things that we deal with.
So yeah, I know that you had one other founding partner, but how did y'all split equity at the start of the company?
But we were a partnership, which is a very difficult thing. Let's lay out all of our business paperwork, right? What happens if we split? What happens if we do this? And he's the one that glossed over it, and then he's the one that wanted to leave, and so consequently, he could have done much better for himself had we done this paperwork.
Right.
Because I got the company for a deal because I didn't want him to leave, and I was at a point where I'm like, well, stay. I don't care if you stay or go. But I paid him out. When you're a partner, you have to measure all the items that you have in stock. Like, let's say you have a $500,000 inventory, and you have to pay them half. You got to. That's just to start. Now you discuss what happens after that goes on. What is it going to take for them to walk away? And for me, it was 18 months of business. He gets a percentage of the business as he walks away for 18 months.
So would you say 50-50 as far as equity?
50-50 is equity. Yeah. Oh, always. It has to be. That was my main point to begin with. It's got to be.
When conflict arose during the management of your business, how did you prevent that, and how did you work through it when it came up?
From a prevention standpoint, I just kept pushing him forward. Listen, let's work through Christmas. Let's get through the next area. Let's keep going. Let's see if we can find common ground. And and all on that time, and it just never worked. It was just a matter of time. And like I said, there were some outside influences that he had to deal with. He had a girlfriend who moved to Turkey of all places, and that was part of his original scene. And then we finally had a blow up moment. He kept poking the bear, and I got a fuse 1,000 miles long, but we were on a job, and he poked, and I bit his head off, and figuratively, and that was kind of the true beginning of the end. But I think it's funny. He's a calculating guy. I think he probably did it on purpose, just to get to a place where he could say, "Oh, you this, you that." But yeah, it just and it's funny. I'm so glad to be done with him now. We're friends afterwards, and it was just a bad relationship. You guys probably are old enough to have had a bad relationship somewhere in your life with a girl or with hell, it could be a brother, it could be a friend, it could be anything, and they're just poison, and they don't belong, in the confines of everybody else suffers around you. Put an end to them, but try to figure out what that's going to be before you get your business started. I would say if you're gonna do a partnership, which I would recommend against anyway,
Mhm.
don't forget, you can hire an accountant, you can hire a lawyer, and you can hire some of these people. You don't have to have a partnership.
What else did you have to take on? And was that an easy process after he left?
Well, it was so funny. It's funny you mention it because he would use this as part of his cudgel to try to tell me he's doing all this hard work, and then so he made it sound like it was so difficult, and then when it was time for him to go, and I'm like, all right, I said, but look at all this. I got to hire an accountant now. He's like, it's not that hard. I'm the same guy. I'm the guy who, I'm not the guy who sits down and with the accounting team. That's just never been my focus. And turns out it's pretty easy. Turns out it's pretty easy in our, because number one, we don't have 150 transactions a month. We don't have 500 transactions a month. We're not selling hamburgers, nothing like that. We've got maybe 40 or 50 jobs a year, actually. And so it's really like slow motion. So our business is big numbers, but a lower quantity of opportunities, and then just rectifying the numbers. So it's easier than I thought it would be. I'll give it that.
So since he left, you kind of just took over what he has been doing?
I did. I took over, and now I do everything.
In your opinion, what kind of qualities brought you to be an entrepreneur?
So I'll give you an idea. I'll tell you a little bit of my past. When I was 5 years old, I was selling popcorn and lemonade in the front of my house as a little kid. And then I used to make about $600 a week in high school selling lollipops, Charms Blow Pops to people. It was incredible. I mean, literally, it was a phenomenon. I got so well known in my high school that I became senior class president over it. And no doubt, I was the most popular kid in school, all because I was selling lollipops for $0.25 a piece. You have to have it in your blood. If you don't, you're not going to enjoy yourself. It's the only thing. I mean, it's what I enjoy doing now. There's nothing better than going out and meeting people and converting them into a sale, and then paying for my lifestyle that I enjoy. So it's funny, you never see $20 bills blowing down the highway, but why not? Why not ever? You know what I mean? If it was 4 seconds out of some guy's pocket, right? Then he just dropped it. It never sits around for very long. However, you see and I've got a friend who does this. I've never done this. He sees a broken grill on the side of the road for free. He picks it up, brings it into his Home Depot, fixes it with the parts that are missing, and sells it for $140 on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. Certain people will just, and it's essentially the same thing as a $20 bill, except for times 5 or 6 blowing down the road. People think about that and they see the connection between the two. And if you're that type of person, you'll never, ever need for money. And money's easy if you think it's easy, and it actually gets easier. If you put that in your head, money becomes easy to come around. And entrepreneurship is part of that, to where you just see things in the value that they bring, and you can find that and shake it loose and make serious money doing a lot of different things. There's never been more ways to make money these days.
That definitely relates to your business as well, because you're taking out the stuff that people don't want.
So I'm taking it from a data center and I'm putting it out in the marketplace and remarketing it to clients that actually want it, need it. But here's the best part, right? Remember, we talked about the World Economic Forum and the ESG. Well, I'm the E in the ESG. It fits right in my business